how do you get ready for an MSP sales pitch? Hey, how are you guys? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com, and that is exactly what we are going to be covering in today's video. Everything you do and what you need to do and how you do it to prepare for that pitch so we can all put that beautiful MRR, monthly recurring revenue, in our pocket, and hopefully increasing our AR, annual recurring revenue. And the reason why I'm addressing this video is because a lot of people, I know not everybody's into sports. I'm not even that much into sports, but a lot of people, especially as football season is around the corner, have probably seen it on the TV. Imagine getting to the last yard, and you just need to get it over that hump. And that is what this video is about. We are going to get you through that last little hump, that thing that is going to put that money in your pocket. So let's get into today's video. Before I do want to mention we're doing one quick thing. Masterclass, as always, down in the links below. And also I'm going to be covering something today with a link that will also be down in the links below. But you want to close that deal. You are pumped, ready to go, fired up, and you are like, I need to knock this out of the park because this could potentially set my business off on the right track. That could either be the first client that is giving you a monthly paycheck, or that could be just a huge whale that you've been dying to land, which will drastically change the way your business goes. And the first thing you need to do is understand and prepare for your client. A little preparation and research go a long way. Now, the reason why I said I'm going to be sharing these links is because you have to do the buyer persona. You need to do it. I will die on this hill because knowing who your target market is will change everything that you're going to do going forward. When you could be laser focused on who you need to speak to, how they talk, what level of education, maybe even some buzzwords, right? We like to talk about RAID and switches and gigabit ports. There's that same lingo in every other industry out there. It's not just our industry. So understanding the lingo, the language, the talk, the education levels, the type of people that you're going to run into will automatically put you infinitely further ahead than any other competitor out there. It's just a given, because if you're taking the time to do a little bit of preparation and a little bit of research, you're now not even playing in the same ballpark as everybody else. There's not other competition. We just now need to get you to not mess up by the end to then crush it. But if you know who you're talking to, how they speak, you can then start to make people feel comfortable, and people buy from people they know, like, and trust. People like when you can kind of share and you can kind of go to their level. That's why it's really weird when we meet celebrities, but celebrities hang out with each other all the time because they are just on a different platform than we are. That's really it. They have different values. They have different core beliefs. They have different friend groups. They have different lingo that they're using versus what we would normally use. So just keep that in mind. Going through this buyer persona worksheet is not something I just created because I want to just create things. It's really, really vital so you can understand what that client's business is like, their industry, the tech challenges they're going to be having, what maybe they did in the past that will affect their technology. And when you're going in and actually setting up a pitch, it gives you clear objectives because some industries are going to worry about different areas than other industries. Now, after you kind of have a good idea of who this person is and you've already maybe set up your first meeting, next is going to be an effective discovery meeting. This is building rapport, and that's a lot of building rapport. Once again, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. You have to go out into that meeting with the goal of making that person know you, like you, and trust you. And you have to ask open-ended questions, not, hey, do you have a server room? That's obviously a yes or no. You can ask questions like, hey, what do you know about your server room? Or what do you like or not like about your server room? Think about trying to get rid of that immediate binary yes or no, right? Ones and zeros. We want to remove that. We want to try to ask as many questions as possible. A little pro tip for you. When you're doing sales, you want to have the client do 99% of the speaking. If you're doing 99% and they're doing 1%, you're not going to win the deal because the client doesn't want to be there to get lectured. You are Superman. They should just be spilling their guts to you the entire time about what they need help with and what they're struggling with and what they don't like about their technology. A great question is, hey, I'm super happy to help you out with your technology. I'm really pumped to dive into this. Just out of curiosity, I know this sounds like a weird question, but why am I here? Throw that little key away and wait 3 to 5 seconds, because they're going to start to just talk and talk and talk and talk naturally. And if you think that I'm bluffing and you think that I'm lying, trust me, next time you go on a meeting, just be like, hey, look, I don't even care if I close this deal or not. Just ask the client, why am I here? The worst that they're going to do is tell you to leave. And that's my door over there, right? That's the worst thing that's going to happen. Just don't talk for like 5 seconds, like almost blank out. They are going to just give you all of the nitty-gritty little details that you want. You should either put this thing on record and slip it in your pocket so you can review your notes for later, or you should be hammering away. Everybody's got a notes app on their phone. I don't care if you're iPhone, Android, or even using a Motorola Razr. You should be pounding away at your keys to make sure that you get every little bit of information. Doesn't like the current vendor, thinks the current vendor charges too much, doesn't like the response times, isn't sure what technology they have, knows that they have servers that are going end of life, but doesn't trust their current vendor, doesn't know what technology they actually need, feels like they've spent all this money on technology and hasn't gotten whatever, the results that they want, the success that they want, the unification they want. The list can go on and on. I have literally spent probably the better part of 30 minutes looking at my phone and just typing as fast as my two little thumbs would let me, because the customer would just go on and on and on and on. Ask those open-ended questions. What problems are you currently running into? Not, do you have a problem with your IT? The answer is always going to be yes. That's like saying, is the sky blue? Of course it's always blue. There's always a technology problem. That's why we all have jobs. You can't ask that question. You have to ask, what technology problems have you ran into recently? If they say none, don't talk. And if they start talking, once again, don't talk. Take the little notes app out and start hammering away. And if you could do it while you're sitting down and you could use all 10 of your little digits, hopefully you'll have all 10. Start typing as many notes as you could possibly jot down, because this is a vital component for the end of this video. So I'm teeing you up here for this. Once you go through it, you take all the pictures. Hey, do you mind if I take a couple pictures of what you got going on? Server switches, computers, your printers. I'm pointing to my plant as if I had a printer here. Any bit of technology, personal laptops that are in the building that shouldn't be in, employee laptops that should be in the building that might be really, really old. The list goes on and on and on. But take pictures, document as much as you possibly can. Think of it like a very accelerated onboarding. Next, number 3 is going to be, you need to go home and do your homework. And by home, I mean your office. I have a home office. Start hammering away and building out a tailored solution for that customer. No customer wants to be handed the most, and I'm not hating on my parents because they got me this card, but they don't want the most generic card that everybody else is getting, right? My grandparents, ironically enough, sent me a birthday card, and my birthday was a couple weeks ago, but sent me a birthday card that they custom make every year. It's the coolest thing. I'm guilty of buying these too, but everybody buys these. But nobody likes buying these. Nobody wants to feel like they're just another customer. They want to feel like they are your favorite potential customer. Go out and build that proposal. Proposals, realistically, when you're doing this and building out a custom solution, should take anywhere between, I would say at the bare minimum for a new customer, if you are a pro at building these, at the bare minimum, a half hour. I have spent the better part of 25 hours building a proposal, between getting the hardware that I need, the software that I'm going to need to roll out, the actual MSP services we're going to provide, the backup, how much storage they have, the whole nine, looking up serial numbers and calling Dell and saying, hey, Dell, what's the warranty look like on this? That way, when I send my proposal, I have every single everything, down to the period, punctuation. I've put it through Grammarly 25 times. You want to make sure it is just the only person that can ever sign that proposal is only that customer. Because if it went to anybody else, it would just be a waste. Build a custom tailored solution for them, even if it's just managed services. Spend the time and take your managed services and write down with your notes app and go through this. Summarize. Build in all of those notes that you took. So when the customer is actually reading it, because they're signing a contract for hopefully the minimum $6,000, right? $500 a month. Well, and some of you may get into the well deep into the thousands. They might be signing a $120,000 contract. They want to feel like you spent $120,000 worth of work to build this masterpiece that you have now set yourself eons away from your competitors for. This is what is effective when you're building out a tailored solution. Number 4 is building an engaging presentation. Now, I have talked about it more often than not, but if you're using anything other than PandaDoc, you are setting yourself up for failure. Now, Quozal in ConnectWise is okay in my opinion, but these proposals just look infinitely better. You can add text fields, initials. I'm not even an affiliate for the company. I just like the way their proposals look. They look really, really good. Why not leverage them? And you could collect all the credit card information. You could attach your credit card authorization sheet on here. You can do so much on here. You're going to get a copy. They're going to get a copy. Time stamped, date stamped, the whole nine. There's no guessing in here. You can do quotes, proposals. You can add your contracts in here. You can do e-sign, forms, payments. I don't care if you use the program or you don't use the program, but by not using the program, you're just setting yourself back into the Stone Age. If you think Word is acceptable still in today's day and age, I don't know what to tell you. PowerPoint is barely allowable. There are so many competitors to PowerPoint now that make PowerPoint look like it was developed in the early 2000s when, people were still using sticks and rubbing them together to create heat, right? We're in technology. We are infinitely further along than the rest of the world. Build it on PandaDocs. I'm not an affiliate. I don't care about the money. I want you to close more deals. That's all I'm here for. And by doing this, unless you have a banger WordPress setup, not WordPress, Word document setup, use it. It's $20 a month. To close a deal, it is well worth the investment. Once you build that engaging presentation or proposal inside of PandaDocs, because you are going to go over it, we have to talk about delivery, sending that sucker, putting this card in the mail and sending it down. I need to put more widgets on my desk here so I can use better stuff, but hey, happy birthday card, it works for me. You do not want to hit send unless you were on the phone or you know that you have a meeting coming up in less than 2 minutes with that client. The last thing you want to do is send them a proposal and they get to look at that proposal before you are there to start answering questions. That is the worst thing you can do. I think I may have closed a couple $1,000s in deals or a couple $1,000s in MRR off of sending proposals because I was actually pretty certain they weren't going to close, and then some of them happened to buy. But the lion's share of the millions of dollars I helped my old company make were from in meeting. I don't care how far that client is away. Whatever it is, I am willing to travel with it because I know my closing ratio goes from like a 10% to like a 90% closing ratio when I'm there in person. Because number 5 is going to be handling objections and closing. You want to walk them through every single step of that proposal. And along that process, they are going to have objections. And you have to be the one that can answer those objections. You want to be there to answer them clearly, concisely, and don't add the fluff. Hey, I'm a little bit concerned about price. Can you do anything about the price? Handle that objection. Hey, look, we hear that a lot. That our prices are a little expensive. That is because we have a fantastic team. We pay our employees correctly. We use the best software. We actually have a separate team that handles security, your NOC or SOC team. Whatever it is, be there to handle objections. Hey, I don't really understand what this is. Don't let them go to Google and find somebody else's company that might give them the right answer. You are the SME, subject matter expert. You are the technology person who is becoming a salesperson. Be the soundboard that they can ask those questions to, and you can answer them confidently, clearly, and in enough thoroughness that that customer has no more questions. And every time you get a question, try to write a little note down, because that means you didn't handle that objection before you sent the proposal. If it's budget, you didn't talk about budget early on. If it's the technology that you offer, you didn't talk about that early on. The list can go on and on. Every time there's an objection, that last meeting, if you are the best salesperson in the world, should just be walking them through the proposal. Yep, sounds good. This is everything we talked about. Okay, great. They just have to take the price and digest it. They might sign it right there. They might sign it a day or two later. But at least you gave them the opportunity to ask or have an objection. And you can be the person that answers it. And then ask for the close. I've made a video about this. If you don't ask, you are never going to get. You don't go to Cold Stone Creamery or Chipotle and stand at the window and not ask for something. That would be very weird. You have to ask. I would like a burrito. I would like this. I would like this. Even when you go to Best Buy, you have to ask. I mean, you could go to Best Buy and buy something without talking to anybody, but for the most part, there has to be some kind of conversation there. Ask for that close. Hey, based on the proposal and everything that we spoke about, do you think it would make sense to move forward today? Or does it make sense to move forward today? Yes or no? Hey, I got to talk to my partner. Sounds great. Just out of curiosity, what do you think you need to talk to your partner about? I would love to incorporate them into a meeting if you want to set up another one. Well, you know, they like to mull things over. That's great. Based on our conversation so far and this proposal, what questions do you think that they would have that I can give you the answers for, so that way you can talk to your partner effectively? Or in most cases, another meeting usually just makes sense. Let them answer. Don't give them the answer. Give them the opportunity to talk about what the partner is going to object to. Even if it's, I got to check with my wife. Sounds great. I hear this all the time. I'm glad that your wife is looking over the bills and what you're spending money on. Just out of curiosity, you know your wife way better than I do. You guys are married, right? What questions does she normally have? I'd love to answer them, especially if it's a question that you don't think you're going to have the answer to. I'd love to cover that really quickly. Maybe it takes 3 minutes to just go over this. Mic drop. They're either going to say, oh, she loves to ask about this. Great. Let me answer that question, or hope that the prospect that you've been talking to can effectively deliver the answer that you would do it as, or you would give. That is going to set yourself apart when you ask for that close. And then after that, you take all these notes, you go through the whole thing, you're hopefully going to have a signed proposal back from them. Last but not least is continuous improvement. You have to consistently be working to get better. We work in technology all day, every day. Not everybody works in sales all day, every day. So you have to make notes of what you think you did a good job on, what you think you did a bad job on. That is why I love hitting record on my phone. And if it takes me another extra hour out of my day to sit there, plug my headphones in, and go to town listening and typing everything out on a laptop or a computer, it is worth its weight in gold. Do yourself the favor. If you can hit record, hit record. It'll make your life a million times easier down the road. You can see where you messed up on. You can see where you put the ums, the ahs, the hesitation. Why did you answer certain things certain ways? That will set you apart from everyone else. The only reason why I'm good at YouTube is because I have made hundreds of videos in the past, and I have figured out what I like, what I don't like. I've learned that the ums, the ahs can all be left out. Sometimes I slip one in. I am human. We're all human here. But continuous improvement will set you light years ahead of your competitors. I hope this video helps. I hope you close some more deals. And if you're interested in that masterclass or any of the links I mentioned, they will be in the description down below. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Close some deals. And if you think I missed something, as always, leave a comment down below. And hit that like button, subscribe button. And if you want to get a little zesty, a little notification bell. Peace.